People generally have opinions over things, and every person's opinion matters, no matter how small it is. You can agree to disagree. Welcome guys, welcome to my channel. This is the House of Point, where we say it as it is. We want to dive into a very interesting topic. I do not know if you have ever been in a position where you are arguing with people. And when we are arguing, we always argue over a certain opinion. And every opinion matters. So it brings a confusion around the whole idea. And we do not know who is right. Everyone seems to be right because everyone has got an information. This is something that I have been contemplating for the longest time, and I wondered, how is it that the moment I try to give out a certain information, the other party also has their own part of the story? So this is simply because every person have got an opinion, and when these opinions come to us, we are supposed to talk over them and come up with a certain conclusion. And what is the conclusion? The conclusion is supposed to be the truth of the facts. Yes, the truthfulness of it all. Because not every opinion is correct. I may be talking to you about something and I'm really explaining like I'm doing right now, but you find that there is someone who can be able to come here and explain the same thing, giving their other side of the story, and it becomes falseful. That is information. Information has been laid down to be contemplated upon, and information is supposed to be subjective to correction. Information is supposed to be subjective to interrogation. When an information has been passed through a line of judgment, it can be investigated, and the fact we determine if the fact is the truth or it's the false. I do not want to enter into so much of explaining, but what I am trying to say is that every person has got an opinion in our society. At your place of work, everyone has got something to say, and what they are saying, they believe it is the correct thing. That is why you're going to find yourself in the board meetings discussing over a certain issue, and everyone is given a chance to give their point of view, and every person in that boardroom, if it were 10 of you, every person is going to give their own opinion. And there are some people also who are not going to give up their opinion, and they will be relying on the opinion of others. You have heard people say, I concur with what she has said. I concur with what he has said. Why? It's because they did not give their brain a moment of internalizing the entire information or the question that was asked. So they decide to follow or to agree with what has already been said. But in that board meeting of 10 people, if every person was to give their brain a chance to think around a certain question or to think around a certain topic that is being discussed, every person in the 10 people, they are going to give their own analyzation of what is being asked. Let us come to the family setup. In the family setup, you're going to find that possibly a mother and a father or children, every person is going to have a certain opinion over a certain issue that has been discussed. So this is the beauty of the matter. The question that has been laid, the question is open. Like, what do you think we're supposed to do with this money? Or what do you think we're supposed to do with our customer care services? Every person is open to an opinion. Now, this is where now things become confusing. I want to talk about illusion of information. When someone has the illusion of information, they tend to think that whatever their brain is processing or whatever they think about, that is the truth. So someone will be missing a certain critical information. The other thing, let me talk about ego when it comes to information. we have some of us who have got their ego so high that they can never be corrected. They tend to believe that what they have thought about, that is what is supposed to be done. This happens mostly at our workplaces and also at our homes. Our homes, we have the father as the head of the family. At the workplace, we have the manager or the CEO as the overgeneral, depending with the stage of the company or how the organization operates. There is the senior-most person in that organization. Their ego is so high, and they tend to think that whatever information they have given, it is subjective to be followed. And even if there are issues with that information, their ego is so high not to accept criticism. And this is another thing that happens with ego. When you're speaking or when you're giving your opinion, some of us tend to think that if I am narrowed down, or if my point is narrowed down, then I will be attacked. So to avoid being attacked, the person will fight for what they are talking about, in as much as they know it is falseful, in as much as they know it is not correct. Their ego tells them that they cannot be defeated, so they avoid defeat. They hate to be defeated, and for so doing, they will fight for whatever they believe in with their ego of information, and they will want to be followed no matter the situation or despite the circumstances. Confusion is another thing that comes in. When you're confused about the topic, you're going to give information that is not right, and you're going to find yourself arguing with people that are of straight minds, if I may be able to use that word. You're going to be arguing over issues that truly, if you were in your good state of mind, you will have realized that whatever you're ruling to be true, it is not actually true. When you find yourself in a state of confusion and you're with people who are of proper mind, definitely the conversation is not going to be the same. So when someone is confused, they tend to argue a lot. Let me talk about emotional significances. It is important for us to be able to know where do emotions come in. Majority of us act or give opinions depending on their emotions. Like, let me give you an example. When in the law or in the rule of the law does not go with emotions. It will always go with the evidence that have been projected. When you are acting or when you're giving opinions depending or being guided by your emotions, there is no way you're going to win that argument. So whenever you find yourself in a room where people are giving their different opinions, or you're even the two of you, you're giving your two opinions, always don't go with your emotions projection. Let your opinion be ruled over by what is true and what is false. The moment you're acting with your emotion, you will be fighting because you feel as if you're threatened. You will be giving out your information in defense of yourself because you feel threatened. What if? So you find yourself arguing or speaking so much not based on the factual data, but on the threatening circumstances. This is another thing. You may be very right. I may be very right over what I'm talking about, but I lack the confidence. When confidence lacks in your conversation, when confidence lacks in your bringing up of a point, there is no way you're going to give any point at all. Reason being, you fear being criticized. Like when you go into an interview, there's a lot of tension, anxiety that is ruling all over you. And if you are asked a certain question, you cannot be able to answer it well because your confidence mechanism has turned off. So it is good for you to be able to boost your confidence, okay? Boosting your confidence, and be ready for critics. Be ready for critics. So stand out, shine, and give your opinion depending on confidence. And be confident enough. Confidence will take you to places. Confidence will sit you in places where kings are set. Confidence is going to make the kings listen to your voice. Why? Because you believe in what you're saying. You believe in yourself. But the moment you narrow down yourself, there is no point you're going to bring on the table. There's no one who is going to be ready to listen to you. And again, you're going to do injustice to your brain simply because your brain has already processed what is truth. But you cannot be able to alter it out. There is something that happens. We find that authority rules over us. You feel because you're the senior-most person, you are not supposed to be corrected. You're not supposed to listen to any junior. And you want to bring out strong points where strong points really are not needed. Maybe it is just over customer service. We are just supposed to offer customer service. But because you believe you're the senior-most person, you want to bring a lot of narratives. You want to bring a lot of information over that issue. Something that can only be done in a simplified way. But you want to complicate things. So in such a case, the arguments and the opinions becomes very, very complicated. That is going to take you time and ages for you to ever correct on anything that you're doing at all. So this is what we do now. After we have been able to understand that opinions are there, and everyone is valid to giving out an opinion. What we have to do now is to understand how our brain is processed. As I began this video, I mentioned about the gapping. The brain does not get any gap. The brain does not give a chance to gapping. There is no moment that your brain will not be processing anything. The brain is always processing something because that is how the mechanism of it has been built. If you give your brain, or if you want to give your brain a gap, it cannot happen. And the moment you process something and you do not internalize it, you're going to be giving false information because that is what you've made the brain to believe in, and that is what is going to process, and that is what is going to be given out in exchange. We do not argue because we are stupid. We argue because everyone wants to be listened. We argue because people are not coming into a proper agreement over what they have been discussing. So you will find a lot of arguments. So I want you to process on whatever we've talked about and see, how do you deal with arguments and how do you function when everyone around you is giving their opinion. As I finish, I want to say this. It is good for you to give yourself a space. The moment something has been said, don't be very quick to respond. Give it time and process. Give it time to analyze what you've heard. Don't rush into answering or giving your opinions. That one is going to save you a lot of trouble. It is going to save you a lot of disagreements with the people that are around you. It is going to ease your time. You're going to have a very easy time. Okay? So don't be fast to respond. Give it time. Give it time. And the moment you argue so much with someone and you see they do not want to come into an agreement with whatever you're saying, and you strongly believe that what you're saying is the right thing, then just tell them, I've heard what you've said. Let me think about it. That one is going to save you the pressure and anxiety, because that person possibly, that is what they have stated, and they are not ready to go back. So you yourself, who has come to an understanding that this is not the truth, but let me just go think about it. Tell the person, let me go think about it, and you're going to have an easy time. Whatever you're going to think about, if you're going to give your response or not, it remains your truth. Thank you so much. That is all I had for today.